Hey, Zak and Darren here for another update. Hey, so first off, right off the bat, Survive the Storm rewards. For those of you guys that got to day 8 and weren't able to complete for an AI problem or crash, you guys should have all gotten those rewards now. If for some reason you haven't, please hit us up at fortnitehelp.epicgames.com and we'll make sure to get that sorted for you. Thank you so much for for playing Survive the Storm. It was an amazing event, and so many of you came and played. We wanted to make sure that we took care of all the people that weren't able to make it through the 14-day experience.
Yeah, crashes are no good for anybody. So thank you. We learned a lot for Survive the Storm. We'll be taking all that feedback into the next time we do an iteration of this type of game mode, make it better for you. And then we'll be, and then as that winds down, we're going to be booting up Horde Bash. That's our next thing. We're going to talk about that next week, and we'll look to see what you guys think of that. But till then, we're going to take some questions and see what the community has to say. So one of the things that we've been investigating is we think that we have a core scaling issue with our attributes and how they influence class abilities at the top end of the play. So until we can resolve that attribute problem, it's kind of throwing off all the class abilities that are derived from that. So if you think about it, like the class abilities are the trunk of the tree, all the skills are the branches on it. And if I have to make changes to the core of that trunk, it's going to affect everything in the game. And so we have to be super thoughtful about making a change like that before just individually tuning each one of the skills that are derived from it. So we are hearing you. There's definitely an issue here, and we're going to be playing around with that through iteration. But it's one of those things that if we make a core change to the way the gameplay works, it can really affect the low level of the game.
Yeah, so Outlander, Ninja, Constructor, we know that there's a core balance piece there that we're investigating. Where we're going to go solve that issue. As we make that change, we want to make it once at the low level, and then we need to make sure all of the other perks and abilities are balanced, and then once we have that in a good place, then we're going to release it. What we don't want to do is make a change, make it buggier, and then bring it out to you guys, and then have to iterate further. So just stick with it for. It's not perfect right now. We know it's not perfect. We're working on it. So I think there's three pieces to this puzzle that we should talk about. So the first was that what is the design intent of the evolution materials that we have in the game? Drops of rain, lightning shards, Eyes of the Storm. Those materials are there to essentially make sure that there is a play progression. You have to play the game in order to progress. So the game is definitely designed as a free-to-play game where there's a certain portion that you can spend money to be able to acquire items, but then making sure that you have to play to be able to use those items as part of the design. And so these evolution materials allow us to be able to balance that over the period of time and to make sure that we have a balance between those two systems. Second piece is that right now we are continuing to figure out what the right design balance of that is within the system. We've already made one change to the balance of the number of drops of rain that are needed, amount of evolution materials are needed to be able to transform survivors in the schematics. And so, and you saw us make that balance change in Survive the Storm, as well as when we introduced more ways to be able to acquire those ingredients. You're going to continue to see more changes of that nature as we move on. We're going to continue to use events to be able to drop those materials for players to be able to evolve their high-end content.
Yeah, and one of the things about talking about events and acquisition is that it's also, we should keep in mind that basically you guys have been rocking through the top end of the game. When you get up in the twine, you'll see that the quests that we have are not as robust as they are in the lower half of the game. And so as we continue to add more quests into that space, the rewards will also go up during that iteration. It's just simply a result of the fact that at that very top end gameplay, it's not done, and we need to add more quests in that space, which will also provide you with more evolution ingredients and more things you need in order to advance your character. And right now, that's just not as robust as we need to be, and we appreciate the truly hardcore that guys who are up there grinding away at it. But as the game evolves over the next 12 months, you'll see that pressure be reduced by the improved content. And as Zach said already, events are supplementing that as ways to harvest those kind of ingredients in the meantime. I don't think you want too much. Over time, we're going to continue to add to the narrative of Fortnite at the upper end. To give a sense of scale, the upper end of Twine is actually dwarfs the stuff that we've released up to this point. So it's actually quite a huge number of hours for the players. So it's going to take some time for us to deliver. We are working on putting that narrative together, and you're going to see a hybridization of the progression of that narrative through the straight campaign that's available, and also through our events. And we're going to be telling some aspects of the game story through participation in the event stuff. So you will have the ability to play in the world of Fortnite and learn more about the world building. But I recognize that people who are saying, hey, I've progressed past some of these portions of the quest, what's going to happen to me as a result? It's our intent to make those quests playable to you so you can experience it. We're not 100% sure that we can do that in all cases. I bet you it's probably going to be 85% of the things you can do you will be able to go back and redo. But I'm just not 100% sure that I can say to you guys, like, hey, every single quest in every case, you'll be able to go back and participate in. That's only because some of them are hard gates to the way you progress, and to sort of retrofit them could be more complicated than we think. So just want to let you guys know it is our intent for you guys to play through that stuff and experience the story and learn about the world of Fortnite. But with some caveats if you are at the absolute end game. Thanks everybody for participating in the Fortnite community, and we look forward to your feedback.